Welcome back to another installment of Truck Thoughts. Today, as I was driving around, I was thinking about the idea or the thought of fan favorites. Now, this obviously comes in light of the recent release of JTM, or Jacob Tuto Mariner, who has become a fan favorite, especially on Twitterverse over the past few years. He was an undrafted free agent in 2018 that Atlanta signed, and he'd been on again and off again of the practice squad under Dan Quinn, got some playing time and showed some promise. Now, new regime comes in, obviously, and asks him to change position from defensive tackle to outside linebacker. He drops weight, changes his body in that aspect, and learns a new role, and to this point was showing a lot of promise. So it left a lot of us scratching our heads when they decided to release him. And that got me to thinking about the dangers or the pitfalls of having fan favorite players. It's kind of like the backup quarterback conundrum. The best player on your team, as they say, is the backup quarterback, because he's the one that doesn't see the field all the time, and you feel like you kind of build him up in your mind, is what I'm trying to say, that to be a better player than maybe he is. Now, I'm not saying that that's what we've done with JTM, but what I am saying is that we as fans have a tendency to do just that. I myself have fallen victim to that even this past summer with Quadre Olison. I mean, that was my guy, and when the Falcons cut him, boy, I was devastated, because I just knew that had they just given him a shot, then we would have had something special there. But the one thing that we don't keep in mind, the one thing that we don't take in mind take into account rather, is the fact that we don't see these guys every day. We don't see these guys in and out of practice day in and day out. The coaches do. And it could be as simple as they make the same mistake over and over again. Something that we would consider, oh, well, that's not that big a deal. But maybe it's a sticking point for the coaches. But in the case of JTM, like, his spot was taken by James Vaunters. Now, whether you want to say it was due or not, like whether they should have been or shouldn't have been, you have to keep in mind Vaunters has previous experience with this coaching staff from his days in Chicago. So that gives him a leg up right there. Sometimes familiarity is all you really need to secure a spot on a roster. They gave JTM a chance, and for whatever reason, he didn't produce the way they wanted him to. Now, some people will bring up the fact that he has the most sacks on the team, the most QB pressures, and all that kind of stuff, but he may not have been playing how the coaches wanted him to play. So, I'm not saying that any of that's true. I'm just saying we're not taking this stuff into account always when our guys get let go, when our fan favorite guys, get cut. A few years back, when we drafted Stanley Mapanga, I was like, oh man, this guy's going to be a dude. He's going to be a stud. It amounts to nothing. And we don't know why, always. So, I just caution that you keep that in mind in the off season when you're developing your fan favorites, when you're developing your training camp stars, that it may not always work out, and we may not always get a clear-cut answer. I'm hard-pressed I remind myself on a regular basis to try to trust the coaches. That's what they get paid to do. I mean, they're human too. They make mistakes. But at the end of the day, I just try to trust the coaching staff. Anyway, that's my truck thoughts for today. Catch us live on Wednesdays. Me and the guys will be cutting up and breaking down the previous game and the upcoming games. Anyway, holler at you.